got good relationships, good people in your life. You love them. But yet deep down, you know that there could be something more. It just feels like that they're on autopilot and you're just going through the day and kind of bumping into each other, and occasionally we'll say hello or catch up or feel connected. It feels like that your ship's passing in the night. You know, this could be in your love relationship, it could be with your friends, it could be with family members, that it's good, it's good. But yet deep down you know that there's so much more available for you in your relationships, that you would love just a much greater degree of depth and connection. I'll tell you, one of the things that has really become prevalent, more obvious in COVID, is the importance of our relationships. And even knowing the importance, sometimes it can just be tough to build those rich, deep, intimate relationships, especially when you're building business. When you're in the process of building a business, it feels like that the relationships in our lives are the things that suffer. My name is Felicia, Searcy, your Dream Life Activator. It is my joy to be your partner in believing. And in this live, I want to help you know how to keep your relationships on the radar even when you're building a business, that you do not have to build a business at the expense of your relationships, or you don't have to have good relationships at the expense of your business. And stick around, because when we're all said and done, I have an amazing invite that I want to extend to you. So you're out there, you're doing the work, you're building a business, you're bringing this amazing gift to people, and it feels like you're doing it at the mercy of your relationships. It feels like that your relationships have become almost like an afterthought, or like they become on autopilot. You know, we feel like that we get to know people, that we know people, and there's really nothing new that we can discover about them. And we're just, you know, you're going through your paces. But yet there's a longing. You have a longing inside of you for something richer, deeper, more fulfilling. You long for a deeper sense of intimacy and connection, but just haven't quite figured out how to actually do that. Well, believe me, I get this, that for one thing, I am deeply grateful for the relationships that I've had, and my focus, keeping my focus on my relationships. But I'll tell you the area that for me has been an area of neglect. My husband and I have been together for 34 years now. It's been a long time. And 33 and a half. We've been together for 33 and a half. And our relationship continues to grow deeper. That there was a point in time when it felt like that we were two ships passing in the night, especially with my business. As I've built my business, I've had to really be mindful. And there have been times when I have let that relationship be neglected. I have neglected that relationship. And the other area for me that I've really let myself neglect were the area of my friendships. I didn't feel like I had enough time for friends, that if I was really serious about business, then I needed to focus on business. And it was just one of the things that I had to be willing to sacrifice. And I don't think that I ever intentionally set out to do that, or that I was conscious that I was in my mind making that trade-off. But when COVID hit, and I realized how I had let some people that I loved dearly kind of fall to the wayside, or just didn't stay quite in touch with them. And I, you know, and I'm at home like many of you all, and realizing I want that deeper connection. I want that deeper sense of intimacy. And so I looked at what is it that I need to do in order to deepen those relationships, to bring them back on the radar. And so I want to share with you, and I've had really good friends, but now just, you know, the work that we've done this past year has been remarkable in terms of the depth and the connection that I feel and we feel. And it's also transferred over into my husband. All right, so how do you do this? How do you build rich, deep relationships, whether it's a relationship with your beloved, a relationship with family members, or relationships with friends, as you are building out a business. How do you maintain rich relationships without sacrificing your business or without sacrificing your relationships? Well, a couple of things, actually several things. So I have steps, but they're all going to be little steps within the step. So first of all, this is the preliminary step that I bring to you every time I come to you live. And that's to understand how powerful you are. It's breathtaking how amazingly powerful you are. I want you to just consider right now that you have this amazing capacity truly to create anything that you can think of. It's breathtaking how powerful you are and how powerful your creative capacity is. So just breathe that in for a moment and just take in just what an amazing, creative, powerhouse being that you are. And to really know that that you have unlimited capacity to create. You have unlimited capacity to create. And what is that creative capacity? It's your thinking capacity. Quantum physics is now proving what spiritual masters have talked about the ages, that what you predominantly mentally rehearse and this amazing capacity of your imagination, your imaginative faculty and charge with your emotions, impresses, it emits out from you, it transmits out from you, and presses into this invisible energy field around you. And in some fantastical way, this energy field then organizes according to your predominant pattern. Now, we've heard that. Now it's to really deepen your ability to apply, not just having the information, but your ability to apply this information. Now, so what does this have to do with relationships? Well, if you truly believe that you have this unlimited capacity to create, and what you imagine in your faculty of your imagination and charge with your feelings is the creative direction, then you want to start paying super close attention to what is it that you are fundamentally showing across this movie screen of your mind. You have images about relationships. You've been running images about what your relationships look like, and they are playing out. And so the images may be something along the lines that, relationships just really aren't that important. Or what I suspect deeper underneath that is, I'm not that important. I'm just not that important to people. I know even after years of doing this spiritual study and doing this work, there was still a little bit of the underlying thought process for me that let me dig into my business because maybe I really just don't matter that much to other people. Now, it sounds crazy, right? Even when I say it out loud or you say it out loud, but it's just breathtaking how that stuff can get so wired into you and wired into me, and how it then plays out in the decisions that we make, the actions that you take, and the expectations that you have. So the first thing is to understand, as you're working with this imaginative capacity, is that you have the ability to create anything that you imagine. And so the first step when building out amazing relationships in the context of your business is to, number one, I got to scoot up on this because this is an important point. You need to really own that you matter. You matter, tyranny. To really own that you matter. Oftentimes we hesitate with really engaging in relationships because you wonder, do I really matter to people? Am I really that important? If I wasn't around, would people notice that I wasn't around? And here's what I want to tell you. Absolutely, you matter. It's so insidious, that voice that wants to minimize your importance, wants to diminish the part that you play in other people's lives. I was talking with somebody last night. It was a client of mine, in fact, she was talking about how she noticed how when she's in a group of people, she just finds herself that she disappears in that group of people, and that deep down she wonders if she really matters. It's so insidious, and it can feel so innocuous, and it can camouflage in so many different ways. And so as you're building a business, it can be really easy to pour all your energy in building a business, thinking that you're being noble or, dedicated to your business, when deep down it may be that you're escaping the fear that maybe you really don't matter to people. And I want you to know, so the first step in building out your dream relationships is owning how much you matter. And so, number one, to build out your dream relationships, know that you matter. I want you to start stacking the evidence that reflects that you matter. Start noticing in your world the evidence that you matter to people, that your company, your presence, they want you to be around. They look for you to be around. Not in a codependent way, but in a way where they're saying, wow, I love hanging out with you. So, number one, to build your dream relationships, you have to know that people want to be in a relationship with you. You matter. Really, take that in right now. I want you to just take that in and own, wow, I matter. I really matter. All right, that's number one. Now, from that state of awareness, number two, I want you to start working with the process of now building a vision. If you believe that you don't matter, deep down, you're not really sure if you really make that much of a difference in the lives of others, you're going to run images that reflect that belief, reflect that frame of reference. And your images of your relationships are going to be less than ideal. They're going to be less than desirable. So you're owning, wow, I really matter. People want me around. And so knowing that, and knowing that people matter to me, I matter to people, and people matter to me, I love people. If I knew that, then what kind of images would I love to create? What kind of vision would you love to create around your relationships? And pick some relationships that, you may have great friend relationships. Oh, excuse me. But maybe challenged in your love relationships, or great love relationships and challenged with your friendships. Maybe there's a family member that you're struggling with. Bring to mind a relationship that you've been struggling with a little bit. Now, if you could make it up any way you wanted to, which by the way you can, because we're making it up all the time anyway, if you could make up that relationship any way that you wanted to, what would be your dream relationship? What relationship would you love to create? Say a year from now, 2 years from now, we're in a conversation and you're sharing with me about that amazing relationship, whether it's your beloved, whether it's a friend, whether it's a family member. I had a client who had a couple of kids that she was struggling with. And as she was struggling with the kids, it meant that she didn't have access to her grandkids. She wasn't able to see her grandkids. Her name was Ray. And it broke her heart that she couldn't see her grandkids. Now, we started working together because she wanted to write some amazing books and wanted to build out a business. But when I work with people, we have to work with the full spectrum, not just your business, because you're living all areas of your life. I want you to have, Marcella, a full spectrum life, which includes your dream relationships. And so she had to really stare down the part of her that said that maybe I didn't really matter to my kids or my grandkids, and start building images. She had to start building images in her mind that reflected the kind of relationship that she would love to have. So what she saw in her mind's eye was that she saw that she was with her son and her daughter-in-law and her grandkids on the beach, and she was sitting on the porch with her daughter-in-law just having a leisurely, glass of tea with the grandkids playing out on the beach in front of them, and they were just in this easy conversation. Those were the images that she rehearsed over and over and over in her mind's eye. Now, you can't just stop there. You can't just stop and with the vision. You now have to work the vision. All right, so once you create a vision of what your dream relationship would be in whatever form that you're thinking about, in the context of your business, you're not doing this at the mercy of your business, but you're doing it within in the context of your business. You want to then ask yourself, who do I need to be in that relationship? Who do I need to grow into in order to breathe life into that relationship? So Ray had to grow into being the woman who was present for her kids, regardless of how they were showing up. I'm not saying to put yourself in a position where you're accepting abuse or unacceptable behavior. But sometimes, and I'm guilty of this, that I can be a little indignant, I can be a little judgmental, I can back up and fall back on that I don't really matter. All of those kinds of qualities are not congruent with your dream relationship. I cannot show up in a place of judgment and expect to have a loving relationship. I cannot show up from a place of believing I don't matter and expect to have a loving relationship. I can't show up, you can't show up thinking that other people don't matter and expect to have a loving relationship. Ray had to stare down the part of her that believed that she was a nuisance to her kids, or that she had to figure out an answer for her kids, that she had to have a solution, that she had to fix it, and she had to learn how to just be. Just be love. Just be love. And one of the processes that I walk people through on a daily basis is identify what are the core qualities. Who are you showing up as in the context of, and we're talking relationships. So it may be that you struggle with, if I put time in that relationship, then there's something about my business that's going to suffer. So the quality that you may need to take on is a quality of trust, understanding that you can be present for your relationship, and that it may actually be a way to build your business, because now you go back into your business from a completely different frame of reference. So, number one, know you matter. Number two, build a vision. From that place that you know your presence matters to others, build a vision of the kind of relationship that you would love to have. Number three, who do you need to be in that relationship? Now, number four is that start looking, because oftentimes what can happen in relationships is that we can play the blame game. That if other people around us would only do this, fill in the blank, if they would only stop, fill in the blank. In Ray, it was oftentimes, if her kids would just stop bickering with each other, or stop holding a certain opinion of her, or, whatever it is, stop looking to her for answers. And some of this I'm just making up. But, we look at other people and we think that other people need to change. And so we're waiting for them to change. This is a dual process. Well, actually, it's a multi-layered process. Is you have a vision and you're asking yourself, who do I need to be? Who do I need to grow into? What are the things that I need to mature and develop about myself? The next level of that is starting to notice the people in your life that you're struggling with, or the kinds of relationships that you're struggling with. You want to notice how they're showing up, how they're already showing up that way. And so Ray would start paying attention to, the times that her kids did text her back, or the times that they would send a picture, the times that they would receive her calls. Rather than putting her focus on the ways that they weren't showing up or what was missing for her with them, it takes rigor. When your world is not showing up in the way that feels empowering, that feels good. We're so wired to stack all the reasons why it's not working. And then you start protecting yourself even more. You start withdrawing even more. So I'm talking about a high level of spiritual mastery, of spiritual maturity, to really watch for the elements of what you want and to notice how they're already present now. They're already here now. And as you do that, number one, you're stacking the evidence that this really is present in your life. And then you're training yourself to actually allow it. What happens is that you have a capacity for how much love you will allow yourself to experience. When you start going beyond that capacity of how much love, there's a part of you that starts shutting down. So, and especially when it comes to relationships and love, right? Because it's, oh my God, if you get out there too much, then you put your heart on the line. Somebody can really come along and stomp on you. But when you start noticing how it's already present now, how those elements are already there in your life now, and you work with this energy of accommodating that greater degree of good, and you increase your capacity to allow a greater degree of good into your life, you literally train yourself to capacitate more love. You build a muscle set, you build a skill set to allow yourself to experience more love, to have more love, to be present with more love. And so as Ray began to do this work, and then the fifth step is to actually deepen your sense of communion, a sense of companionship and reliance on something bigger than the human forms outside of us. That when you do that, when you understand that you are connected to a source that knows all things, and that this is your source of love, now you're able to be present with people in amazing ways. And so Ray did this. She knew that she really worked with understanding that she mattered in the lives of others. She really built out an amazing vision of what she would love with her grandkids and with her kids. She asked, who do I need to be a match in that relationship? She started tracking how those things were already there in her relationship, and she deepened her sense of communion and companionship with the very power that wove her into existence and woke her up in the morning as she deepened her deep sense of spiritual connection. And as a result, she has built out an amazing relationship with her kids. She has not just access to her grandkids, but a deep, loving relationship. In fact, she sent me a picture of, or no, it was a text where she described, she said, oh my God, I did this, I'm living my vision. Where her and her daughter-in-law were sitting on a porch in a beach house right next to the beach, to the ocean, with her grandkids playing out in front of her, when they were just in this very easy, loving conversation. And she had to take a breath and say, wow, I did this. I dreamed this up. What's the story that we're telling about you? All right, so let's keep this going. I have an amazing Facebook group called Your Ultimate Life Now, where we really dig deeper into this formula of how to build a life that you love, that a full spectrum life, including your business, including money, including relationships. Join the Facebook group, because once a month I do a members only mastermind where we actually get on Zoom. So we're not doing this, but we actually get on Zoom, where I'm able to get my arms around you and help you, let you hook into my expertise. I say that humbly just because I know who I've studied with and I know the work that I've done, where you hook into the expertise and the brilliance of an amazing community, and we pour into you. We hear what's up for you and deepen your ability to work with these laws, work with these principles, and keep you moving as you're building out this amazing business that is yours. It is the reason for being, it's your purpose, right? Your business is the way that you live your purpose as you're building out the other areas of your life as well. So join the Facebook group and then register for the mastermind. It's free. The only thing I ask is that you make a charitable contribution to a cause of your choice. Ultimate Life Now is the name of the Facebook group, and the description, the link is up in the description. Join me. February 11th, this coming Thursday, at 11 o'clock Pacific time. So at 11 Pacific, we will have our members only mastermind. Come hang out, and together, let's keep you going. All right, so my name is Felicia Searcy, your Dream Life Activator. It is absolutely my joy to be your partner in believing. Your dream is my passion. Let's get you going, having amazing relationships as you're building out your business. Come to the mastermind, members only mastermind group, February 11th, 11 o'clock Pacific time. You have to join the group. My gift is a member of the group. Just make a contribution to a cause of your choice. Come hang out. Let's keep you going. Mwah. See you on February 11th at 11 o'clock Pacific time.